What's up? Self-expression. I'm here. Expressing. Being. Had an incredible past day and a half spent with my brother and sister and their good friend. It was awesome. We saw the yeahs at Red Rocks. We got tattoos to commemorate it. I'm living life spontaneously. This is just self-expression. I am just talking to myself. Feel free to just go about your business. This just, something needs to come out. Everything is fantastic, and yet I feel anxious. So anxious. Of course, there is understandably some letdown, right? After this sort of high period, very high period experience, which was very positive and transformative and meaningful to me. That's not unexpected, unnatural, certainly, but there's something else. It's like I'm watching someone have a meltdown or feeling someone have a meltdown. There's panic. There's something else that just hit me in a wave. I don't know how to describe it even. And I am endeavoring to simply allow it, to not resist it, to not question it, to let it be what it is. It is not a comfortable sensation. And so I'm shifting into the perspective space of, well, it's novel. I have a chance to surrender here. I have a big chance to surrender, to grow in unconditionality, to just witness without questioning, without even assigning this to anything or anyone. But it's like shortness of breath. It feels like a panic attack. Like someone crying hysterically and having a hard time breathing. That's just what it feels like inside. And so there's almost these internal alarm bell mechanisms triggering. It's a feeling of like suffocating. Like something needs to be done. Something has to happen. I'm sweating. It's a little warm. Yes, it's a little warm. And I had a reasonable amount to drink yesterday, but I'm not hungover. I actually feel pretty good. Actually, I can feel past this sensation. I can still sense the rightness of everything. I can sense the stability. I can sense the presence. I can step into that space of perceiving that everything is myself, that everything is well and stable and good and assured. And that space feels really good. I'm just going to stay there for a moment. And then there's this shooting, this gasping sensation that sort of shoots adrenaline down my arms into my fingertips. It's that feeling, that stomach dropping, nervous system excitation, arousal that just feels like being zapped, electrocuted briefly. Just that pulse that makes everything shaky and sweaty and hot and staticky. And I don't seem to have a thought attached to it. Sometimes that's the case, and I'm aware that is just programming. There's a thought that I've been programmed into, a pattern of thought, rather, not necessarily a specific one, pattern of thinking. And that pattern of thinking evokes these certain emotions, and if that thought feels bad, then that's not something I need to listen to. That's something I should be aware of and acknowledge. But this is it's just there. It's just there. And there is guilt. There is just panic. again, it feels like being punched in the gut. It feels like having the wind knocked out of me. Almost a lightheaded sensation, even. Just a surge of sort of panic over nothing, out of nowhere. And there is no response I have for it but to sit and be and allow. I'm not going to run from this. And this is how I cope. This is how I manage this. Again, it's all for me. This is my coping mechanism for experiencing all of these emotions, all of these sensations, whether or not I'm aware specifically that they are coming from me or that they feel like they're not. This is how I do it. I could just as easily private all of these videos. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I record a whole video and I don't upload it. I just delete it. Sometimes I load it and I don't share it. And it's just because it felt like that one was only for me. It's all really for me. It all is me. There is nothing that exists outside of myself. And so this is all just demonstrating to myself this process as a form of practice of the process itself. I want to pull some cards because I feel called to do that, because that feels like the thing to do. It feels like there is something that needs to speak, something that needs to express, something that needs to be said or shared or done. Wheel of Fortune. Something has changed. It's already changed. It can't be undone. Can't take it back. God. It's really affecting my breath. It's really just, it's right underneath the heart, right in the solar plexus. Again, this feeling of like being punched, socked in the gut. What's underneath that? The Hierophant. Yeah, something long term has changed. It slipped away. It's not even slipping away. It has slipped away. It's gone. Six of Wands. There's an opening of feeling that can't be closed. Something that can't be shut back down. It's just somebody is feeling something that's been repressed for a long time, and it's coming out. It's just not stopping. There's no way to stop it. Page of Swords, yeah, with the High Priestess bookending. It's secrets. It's secrets, and it's that feeling of being forced to face yourself, forced to face a lie, forced to face up to the music, to face something within that you've looked away from for so long. And you just can't look away. It's everywhere you turn. There it is. It's right there. In fact, it's come out. It's already come out. It's like someone found out. When I was still sort of in the closet and questioning myself, I don't even remember how it happened, but something happened and my mom accidentally found out. Just like found my YouTube history, saw my YouTube history that had to do with videos of, you know, how do I know if I'm gay, that kind of thing. And I was still questioning, right? But she knew. She knew. And she sent me an email. It was very sweet. But she figured it out first. You know, it was like I was still in that process. I already knew, but I was kind of looking at it and it just came out. Cat out of the bag, right? And then it was, I can't put that back. You can't unsay that. You can't unshare that. even deeper than that, the feeling of knowing when I was still dating this guy that I was dating at the time, and I started questioning, and I was really seriously questioning. And that moment that I realized, it was that moment that I realized I was more interested in his female friend who was a lesbian than I was him. And in that moment, I saw it. I had that thought. I had that emotion, that realization. I couldn't unhave it. I couldn't push it back down. It was a realization so deep and true about something I had repressed for so long, kept in a box, kept hidden, that emotionally erupted in such a visceral way and real and obvious way that I could not do anything but look at it. I had to feel it. I had to acknowledge it. I couldn't just go back to being in that relationship with that person and pretend it hadn't happened. I couldn't pretend I wanted to continue it. I couldn't pretend I wanted to be in a relationship with another guy. I couldn't pretend those things anymore. It's like something has erupted. Oh, I feel sick. Gosh, there's panic. Man, what's on top? Fucking A. The devil. It's come out. It's coming out. It's already happened one way or another. And something, just this energy that I'm feeling, I don't know who or what it belongs to. It doesn't matter. It's all me. It's all myself anyway, and I'm the one feeling it in this moment. But it is the sensation of this secret, this deep, dark secret that we can't keep in. It's already out in some way. Something has changed. It can't go back. Okay. Relaxing a little bit. I'm just trying to breathe. I am just breathing through this. It feels like there is an electrode attached to my diaphragm, just spasming almost. Tell me just generally why this sensation. Just generally. I mean, it is the reason for itself. That's it. Four of Pentacles. Yeah. I mean, it's fear, and it's something that's been withheld. That is something that's been held close to us. A deep, dark secret held close in our hearts that is just, it's been ripped away. What's underneath that? Yeah. It's coming out. We've tried so hard to keep it out of the heart, out of sight, out of mind, that kind of thing. But it's right here. It's making its way in. It's coming through it. We can't stop it. It's just that feeling. I'm gonna cut the cards. I mean, Tower. It is an emotional breakdown. That was the first sort of sensation, is I am watching someone, I am feeling someone or someone's have an emotional breakdown. Something that they've tried to cling to, that they've tried to hold in for so long is just slipping away. It's just happening. It's all crashing down. Dramatically, intensely. What's under that? Yeah, determinedly. It is unstoppable. This is juggernaut. Absolute juggernaut energy. It does not stop. It is moving quickly. It's slamming somebody into the wall. It is a current so fast that has been fought against. It's the dam breaking and you standing in front of the dam, trying to push it back, trying to hold the water back, and it just slams into you like a freight train. It's all come crashing down. Okay, let's just express. Tell me about this energy. Tell me just what's coming through. Okay, 7 of Cups just flew out and it landed reversed. It's pouring out. It's just pouring out. Something that was hidden, that was obfuscated, perhaps even a source of confusion, has become abundantly clear. It's just ruptured. Something has ruptured and is just leaking all over the place. 3 of Wands. I just feel like we can't push it back. The emotion is here. Sometimes this feels like a guy who is afraid to go in the water, is afraid to feel the emotion. The water level has risen. This little rock he's been standing on, watching the boats, it's not there anymore. The tide has come in, the water level has risen. He is underwater. He is drowning in emotion. Something that he didn't want to look at, or that he maybe kept at a distance. This is something we held at a distance. That was the safe way to view it, to experience it. And now it's right here. It's in front of our face. It's suffocating us. It is flooding through us. It feels like he is drowning. There is a very immediate need to do something because there is overwhelming emotion here. What's underneath that? There's the 2. Yeah, the 2. Something we tried to hold back, something we tried to push away, and it's just happening. It can't be de-escalated. It's not just time to let go. It's being let go. It's being pulled away. Again, it's if you were trying to hold on to one of these wands and a flood came and it just ripped it away. You can't physically hold on to it. In fact, it's ripping you away. It is the loss of all stable ground. It's a feeling of the world being turned upside down, of it's all falling apart. I'm getting this like swirling image of someone going, like they're gonna pass out. It's that kind of energy too, with the panic and the hyperventilation sensation. What do we have here? 6 of Pentacles. I don't know why, but the 7 of Cups feels like it's what this is crossing. Normally I would pull this in a different order, but that's not it. 6 of Pentacles. We can't undo it. I don't care what the traditional card meanings are. I don't read by that. I read by the energy. Something slipped out. It's the cat out of the bag. And a lot of it has to do with, because of this being revealed, it's been revealed that we've been giving to a lie, essentially. We've been feeding this lie. We've been dishonoring. We've been dishonoring ourselves, dishonoring others. It's the sensation of, this is not a specific example. It's just what comes to mind and what is relatable to me in my experience. It is the feeling of someone who was in a relationship and actually was not attracted. Can I say Brokeback Mountain? It's like something that was deeply hidden. Like this whole time, the authentic self was this. It's like a double life. And somebody found out about it. I'm not saying that is just an example. That is not like what's happening necessarily, but it is that sort of feeling of the cat is out of the bag. Again, this thing that I've been hiding, and I've been hiding it from everybody, and I've been hiding it from myself, and now it's out and it can't go back in. Pandora's box, open, doesn't shut. What's right? King of Wands. Yeah, loss of control, just scrambling for control. The perception of us has changed and it can't go back. This is something that can't be undone, and it can't be unseen by others either. That's what's so panicky about it. We can't control this anymore. It's like the lie has evolved and it's been revealed. It's gotten out. The truth is out. It's like scandal. Scandal energy. But of course it's perceived as a scandal because it's perceived by the ego, the King of Wands, that which was trying to hide it, trying to manipulate because of their fear, not wanting this to get out, not wanting other people to know, for fear of how they would respond, how they would react. Now those people know. Now it's happening. The nightmare is coming true. All because they weren't honest with themselves in the first place. Fuck. This is uncomfortable. There's just an explosion. I want to know more. I want this to speak to the fullest extent, starting in the middle. Tell me about this Seven of Cups reversed, which comes with the Three of Wands crossing it. Almost have a headache. There's an incredible tension inside of my head, and there's a feeling like wanting to cry. Like I would like to cry. That sounds nice, actually. Tell me about this Seven of Cups reversed here. It's all over. It's all out in the open. Yeah. Ace of Cups. Yeah, I had felt that. It's just dumping out. It's erupting. This emotion, this emotional overwhelm that won't go back in. Once you feel it, it doesn't stop. What's on top here? The Star. Jesus. I feel truth. I mean, there's more water. It's water, water, water. It's emotion. It is something deeply emotional, deeply repressed emotional truth. It's our authentic self. It's the authentic self rising to the surface, coming out. And the ego is losing its shit. It's been fighting this for so long. It's been fighting off the soul, the destined path. And it's just happening. It's happening anyway. And the ego is just losing its mind. It's running around, ripping its hair out, just screaming. Absolutely screaming. What's red with the Ace of Cups? I'm taking this all the way out. Death. I'm not making this up. It feels like ego death. It's that panic of total loss of control. And you just have to accept it. That's what it is. This has changed again. It's already changed. There is no going back. There's no unchanging it. There's no unknowing, unfeeling, undoing. It's done. The change has taken place. The emotion is flowing. What's right with the Star? Can't push it back. can't hold it. It's, again, trying to push the wall of the dam as it's breaking. It's just, and that's where the resistance is. That's where the suffering is in that resistance. If the ego just stopped trying to control, just stop trying to hold the dam back and let it break and let it sweep them away and say, what will be, what happens, whatever anybody thinks of me, I gotta be my authentic self. That's what's freeing, actually, is to just be me. It wouldn't feel bad. There wouldn't be this panic if they just stopped trying to control it, if there just was a release of resistance and a surrender to it, and this is what's happening. And in fact, I'm just going to lean into it. I need to lean into my truth, my emotion, myself, the flowing of this. Just let it be. I'm drawn to the moon too, and all of this blue as well. That thing that needs to be spoken, that needs to come up, it needs to come out of the depths, and it is, again, it's just happened. It's like someone said it by accident, almost even. I mean, there's a million ways this energy plays out. Something being discovered, something being revealed. It's also like just letting something slip. Like you accidentally said, well, I prefer whatever. Like, well, I actually like girls. And then you're shocked you said it, and it can't be unheard. I don't know. Now I have a headache. Okay. Six of Pentacles. Why is the Six of Pentacles here? They can't keep giving to this lie. It's not an option anymore. Again, it's all falling apart. It's all falling apart. There's no way to take this back. There's no way to swing it, I can't come up with the word for it, but you know, if you have a publicist, if you're a politician or something, and you're in a scandal, and then the publicist will sort of influence the media, right, and kind of try to swing it. It's just, there's no way. There's no way to soften this. There's no way to change it. It just is what it is. There's no two ways about it. 10 Pentacles, everything is everything. Everything knows. Everything has changed. Everything is broken by the perspective of this King of Wands. It's all fallen apart. Their whole world has crumbled. They can't keep living in it. They can't keep pretending. They can't keep up the facade. It's fallen. It's too late. You can put it back. It doesn't matter. It's already been revealed. Why do I want to know what's underneath there? Just emotion. Emotion. The emotion has flowed. The cat's out of the bag. I no longer want to be with you, or I want to be with that person, or I'm not happy here, or whatever. Whatever way it plays out, it doesn't matter. It's come out. What's on top? Yeah. The Fool. Again. It's new. It's new beginning. It is the energy of wanting a new beginning, but having repressed it. But this is a destined path. It's read directly with the star here. This manifestation is happening. It's just taking over. And again, the ego's going, no, 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 no. And it doesn't matter. It's happening anyway. That is in the energy. Again, Jupiter's putting your ass on the bus. It's true for all of us. It's just happening, like it or not. And the suffering comes from the resistance of it, from the fear, from the trying to control. If it's all falling apart, it's falling apart for a reason, a good reason. To progress one on their soul's path, to progress humanity, the collective, on this path of ascension. That which is being removed is removed because it's outlived its usefulness. It's played its part. That role is finished. It's time for something else. The suffering comes from the attachment, the resistance, the trying to cling to that which is being taken away. Again, what's right with this Ten of Pentacles? Taken away. All of this gone, leaving. And it's time to leave. It's time to leave all of this behind. It is time to have that new beginning on the destined path. It's time to surrender to this. Same thing. I mean, it's exodus, it's forward movement. Especially with the Fool here. And it's right with death. I mean, how much more? It's over. It's time to move on to this new beginning. Can we even have? What's right with the Fool? King of Cups. Felt this energy, the same energy off of that Three of Wands. Of the tide is coming in. It's all spilling out. This is reversed energy. It doesn't matter what direction it comes out. It's reversed energy. It's the King of Cups spilling his fucking guts. The tide has come in. There's nothing else to do. It's drowning in the emotion. It's pouring out. It's diarrhea of the mouth and the heart. Unable to keep it in. It's all just, someone has cracked under this energy. Someone, something, multiple someones have broken. The wall has broken. They cannot keep up the facade anymore. This is like emotional, mental breakdown energy. I've had a nervous breakdown when I was 17. And some of it had to do with the repression, all of it actually, in multiple layers, had to do with the repression of myself, the repression of my truth and my authentic being. I didn't understand it at the time. But it was just this feeling of all this pressure, and I was trying to keep it together. I was so anxious and depressed constantly. And I could barely manage school. And I couldn't stop thinking. And a lot of it had to do with, I was terrified of being gay. It's what it boiled down to. It took me several years beyond that to even process and get to the point of accepting it. I was so terrified, and it turned into this big specter in my mind, and I because of the withholding of that energy and the fear of it, it became this obsessive thing. And it tortured me. I was torturing myself, again, by the resistance of it. And I broke down. I couldn't keep it in anymore. I didn't understand it, and I still hadn't accepted that. That took, again, several more years. But I had to tell my parents the thoughts that I was having, because I couldn't keep them in anymore. I couldn't cope with it. I just broke down crying in hysterics one morning. And I started going to therapy multiple times a week. This is that energy. Multiple somebodies. I will say this with confidence. I'm not saying who. That doesn't matter. But ego has cracked. It has fractured. The facade has fallen. And there is emotional breakdown happening. And it's all just coming out. Because it cannot be held in anymore. It's killing somebody. They cannot keep it in. Tell me about this King of Wands. And they know it's changed everything. It's changed everything, and it's gonna change everything, and that's just as terrifying. That's a part of it. That's why we're fighting so hard to keep it in, because it would change everything. But it can't stay in. It's coming out anyway. I just had a card jump out as I said that. I didn't get very far. Just back to the Ten of Pentacles, apparently. Pulling on the King of Wands now. Yeah, the King of Wands has lost the control. Is the Chariot. It's all coming out. It's just that juggernaut energy again, just forward motion. I'm not pulling on the soulmate cycle. This being the card of Cancer is more emblematic of that to me, of it's just emotion. The King of Wands is in his feels. King of Wands energy, ego energy, doesn't respond well to that, doesn't like that, tries to repress that. That's what it does. It's the masculine energy. When it's out of balance, it tries to repress the feminine energy, which is emotion and the soul. And the soul, the emotion, the feminine has just taken over. There's nothing you can do. This chariot is just running wild. Absolutely out of control. Out of control. What's red with this 10 of Pentacles? 3 of Pentacles. I just get the leaving. Again, it's just about the symbols and the way it feels. It's... the energy is balancing itself. The energy is taking care of itself. The ego is not in control. It's scrambling for it. It doesn't matter. The soul is doing what the soul needs to do, which again is what has already been agreed upon. I had that emotional breakdown because my soul knew. It was pushing me towards the path of being my authentic self. And my ego was fighting against it, and that's where the suffering came from, was in the resistance. If I had just released and allowed everything to happen, then maybe that, wouldn't have been the case, but the breakdown wouldn't have been the case. It wouldn't have been so dramatic, but I was programmed. And I'm not saying anybody programmed me. It just is what it was. Society, these thoughts, it's the way that I absorbed things. My ego fought against this, fought against the truth of my authentic self so powerfully that the only way for that to shift was to have an emotional breakdown. The universe always wins. It doesn't matter how long we try to keep up the resistance. We get tired of it. We get tired of feeling unhappy. What we want is to feel good. It takes a lot of energy, so much energy and effort to keep up a facade, especially within ourselves, to keep lying to ourselves, to try to push those feelings down, those truths down. It takes so much effort. And eventually we run out of juice. We can't keep building the wall fast enough. It just explodes. It erupts. That is what's happening here. What's red with the Chariot? Page of Wands. Something new. Something blue. There's a curiosity. It's really just something new, though. The Fool and the King of Cups, again, it's just the wanting out. Wanting something else. Something that's not this. That's not everything we have. And there's the Hanged Man. It's new perspective on all this, and it's can't sit in this anymore. This is no longer sustainable. It's falling apart. The Hanged Man is being cut loose. He's just hanging there. He has no control. If somebody cuts that rope, which the soul is doing, he falls. That's what's happening. It's being cut loose. It's out. It's out of the bag. It is entirely possible this is just sort of, it is coming out energy. Again, that can apply to all kinds of things. But being that it's Pride Month, it seems likely there are a lot of individuals experiencing this in relation to coming out of the closet about who they are and what they like. It's a lot of that, though. It's a whole lot of that. And just the ego fighting and losing and desperately scrabbling for any hold it can find, and there isn't one. It's nothing to hold on to. Jupiter puts your ass on the bus. You can stick your arms out the window and try to grab the air. Or just take a deep breath and let it be what it is. Let it happen. It's okay. This is intense energy. Yeah, I know. I think that's it for this reading, this expression. I'll pull 3 more cards from the bottom. Anything else you want to say, universe? I know you're not happy because I was gone. I know. Anything else you want to say, universe? 3 cards from the bottom. That's what I'm going for here. Whoa, okay. Okay, that's that. 5 of Wands, 4 of Wands, resistance, pain, something that was long-term, a long-term pattern of behavior, of being, a relationship is possible. It's just a long-term thing that was consistent and consistently caused us pain by the resistance to the revealing of it is being revealed. Look at that. Sword of truth. Same message, which is important. It's all coming apart. The resistance is futile because it's time to stop hurting and just feel good and free. To just let it be what it is. Whew, man, this is painful, and it's taking me back to that time of deep repression and confusion. All of that confusion. Thoughts just swirling. What's helped me with that is understanding how the soul doesn't speak through fear. The soul never speaks through fear. Truths can be painful to recognize and accept, but that's only because of the fear of the resistance to them. That and remembering that I can't get it wrong. It's all always to my benefit. I can't get it wrong. It's not possible. So just surrender to it. So what? I don't have to follow a thought that doesn't feel good. I can just look at it, acknowledge that it's there, acknowledge that it's trying to get me to follow it by creating pain. It wants me to think about it. It wants me to feel like I need to think about it in order to alleviate that pain. That's a bottomless pit. There's no relief found in that. The only relief is found in seeing the thought, seeing how it's trying to manipulate me into following it by creating a feeling of anxiety and acknowledging that, and then choosing deliberately not to follow it, to just let it exist, to just let the anxiety exist, to know I am not that thought. That thought doesn't define me. It doesn't belong to me, and I don't belong to it. It's just random streams of energy, totally unrelated to me, doesn't mean anything about me, one way or the other. I'm just surrendering to this anxiety because I still feel it, but it's still here. It's very present here. So that is what it is. It's just anxious. It's just pain. Que sera, sera. Doesn't mean anything's going wrong. Can't affect anything, can't buck this current of well-being that I got going for me, that the universe is streaming around all of us all the time. So that's what it is. This is my expression. And I got no other words, honestly. If this resonates for anybody, I mean, I feel you. I feel you. Just take a deep breath. You don't have to have it all figured out. Clarity will come. It'll all be revealed. Just relax into the moment as much as you can. And that doesn't mean changing it. It just means letting it be what it is. That's all I'm trying to do here. So, que sera. What will be, and all of it works out. I'm done. Have a beautiful night.